intended technique consists on beating the low piano strings with a hand palm like this or this, just before or after the dampers. With tall people it's better to do it like this in large Steinways, and short people maybe this can be enough. It's easier. But the hand palm, so is this white symbol, is like this. So, for example, in bar 4 we have no pedal. We beat first with the right hand and then the pedal. So it's more or less the same. After beating the hands with the palms, like this, with the fingers, we have the fists. So we beat the string with the fists, which is a little bit more percussive, and then finally with the fingernails. So it's even more percussive and hard. For example, bar 15 and 16, we can have this progression at the end. So we go from more tender to more hard and percussive sound. To scrape the strings with the fingernails, we can scrape all the strings like this between two indicated pitches. For example, in bar 17, from D to A, low A. Or we can scrape a single string, low string, or 3 strings with 3 fingers. For example, bar 21. And the arrow up means that we go up to the piano, just after the dampers, like that. So there are two kinds of scrapes, this or this. So sometimes we have to scratch a single string with the fingernails very slowly and very expressive in some way. Like, for example, in bar 24, one of the two hands only, we have this. Slow peaks of noise. So take this indication, graphical indication, as these slow irregularities, and not like that. It's slow and continuous. This technique, introduced in bar 17, consists on executing a lateral pizzicato, a strong one, with a pedal pushed on the lowest string, and then push the neighbor string, B flat for example, in order that the two strings collide and produce these amazing vibrations. And the score is indicated with this symbol, this graphic symbol, when the contact produces the sound. So not all the time, only short contacts, but the sound is quite a strong, shrilling sound. Sometimes we play several techniques at the same time in order to produce a complex sound, like in bar 24, for example. One of the two hands, it can be the left hand, for example, or the right hand, as is indicated on the score, executes the pizzicato on the lowest string, and then we push the next string in order to touch, and the other hand executes a nail scratch on the string. So, bar 24. Also, in bar 24 we can do this, to exchange the two hands after executing the pizzicato. We have this technique in bar 33, 34, for example, of little scratches, fingernail scratches on the strings. The important thing is that here is fingered, so we have to articulate the fingers like this. If it's bow down, it's short as bow up, we can simulate a little bit that. We have this, for example, after beating. We can combine both hands and beating sometimes. Pedal, more pedal, less pedal. Bar 38, we have a double pizzicato on the string A and C, and then the two internal strings will be touching these vibrating strings. So we have now these clusters are quite special because I indicate this arrow. That's inspired from the geology, from the folds in geology that can be synclinal, anticlinal, and the different strata can overlap and create breaks on the terrain. So we have to think that our forearms are like folds in geology. So we execute these movements, for example, like in a very plastic way, not brutal, not like that, but also sometimes we see that we start the cluster with a white note and we finish the cluster with a black note, B flat G, natural G. So what happens? Normally it's not important where we do the change of inclination of the arm. Every forearm is different in size, so what I want is the idea to start here, for example, in bar 40, and to finish on the B flat. So I change more or less over there. So then the hand, sometimes I ask the hand, so we can start with the forearm and finish with the hand. Like that. The third pedal is normally all the time there. Sometimes they add tremolo. What is important is to have a natural rhythm and not hard. So in the bar 42 to 45, we have a mixed technique consisting on a cluster, short clusterings on the keyboard with the left hand, and beatings, damping beatings on the same strings with the right hand, just in the back of the piano strings. So, for example, execute with the arrows indicated on the left hand. Sometimes it's arpeggiato like that, sometimes it's completely blocked. This idea of getting a global sound, finally is a global, ambiguous mixed sound. And well dampened too. Now we have, for example, these movements, cyclic and round movements, fast, in a fast rhythms. We have combination of two hands. The left hand ascends like that, and the right hand like that. You see that not all the pitches are played, but more or less the two pitches indicated pitches indicate the movement itself. So the combination produces this. It's not very strong. Bar 153, we have a mixed technique. It tells almost ritual fanatically. So we execute a cluster with the left hand, a pianissimo, and at the same time we beat the strings with a hand, like that. From the beginning of the piece we have pedal arrows. That means a very strong and audible pedal strike, like this, down, and sometimes up. So also audible. These mixes, of course, with beating.